Hoosiers, Spartans. One fan base just watched a team that just cemented themselves in a spot for the national title conversation in just 2 years under their head coach. And the other fan base, well, we're eagerly awaiting if we could pay the third highest buyout in college football history. Yes, also in just 2 years. And we play now on Saturday. God.
You are Locked On College Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
This crossover episode of Locked On Spartans and Locked On Hoosiers. That's right. On your feet, everyone. Catch the fever.
You
That's
can't
right.
be defeated already. We just started, Matt.
Would you stop? Would you stop over there? Oh, there you are on your golden throne looking down at the plebeians telling you to be happy. Okay. Anyway, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. Hi, Jacob.
Hello, Matt. I'm great, man. It's so good to see you, buddy. It's been a long time, and I've just kind of left you alone. Things kind of seem they seem kind of hot over in the East Lansing. So, hey, AP poll came out for basketball this week. That's exciting, right?
That's right. Basketball season is once again here to save us. But look, we'll squeeze that conversation in the third segment because Lord knows our fan base, I'm doing this for the mental health of the Michigan State faithful over here. Yeah. We can't be doing just 3 segments of Hoosiers for Spartans on the football field because, my God, it is just a beautiful irony that one of our teams is coming off of maybe, I don't think I'm overstepping here, maybe its best win in program history over there in Bloomington. And then on the other side of the aisle, right over here in East Lansing, I don't think I'm being hyperbolic when I say this. Is it the worst loss in program history? No. But is it certainly on the short list? Look, it's one thing to lose to a one-win team UCLA. It's another one to get completely rolled out of your own stadium on homecoming. Jacob, vibes couldn't be higher over there for the Hoosier faithful. Yeah. Vibes couldn't be worse over here for Spartan Nation. I'll just ask the question. Why are we even playing this game? Why does this game even have to be played? Why?
Yeah, I mean, if this game was in East Lansing, if it was on the road for Indiana, I'd be like, maybe
it'll be a 30-point game. Yeah.
I mean, the storylines here are going to write themselves, right? You set it up perfectly. You're talking about two teams who are polar opposites on the feeling emotional spectrum here, but the storyline for Indiana is simply going to be, okay, you are coming off your best win in program history. You are well on your way to competing for a Big Ten title, making the college football playoff, and trying to win a national championship. Can you put all of that aside and play a nameless, faceless opponent? That's what the Hoosiers have to do this week because, look, you've seen the betting lines. They're not kind to your people at Michigan State. Our friends at FanDuel are flirting around 4 touchdowns or so. That's a big deal.
Absolutely lay those points. I'm laying double those points actually. If you want
double,
dude,
you're kind of a hater on your team,
man. We're gonna lose by 85. Are you kidding me?
The storyline, though, is the fact that, yes, Indiana's a 4-touchdown favorite. Again, emotions are all over the place for both squads. But can Indiana avoid the letdown here? Can you avoid overlooking this team and cashing it on the rest of the season? Because, look, plain and simple, Indiana's going to be a favorite the rest of the way. In every game they play in the regular season, they won't have another ranked matchup on the schedule. Penn State was supposed to be. We know how that's going. So can you avoid the letdown, the overlooked situation? And I think Curt Cignetti and his squad will. I don't think they'll have any problems here. Talent is not the issue. Coaching is not the issue. But, I mean, man, Michigan State looked so good there for like almost 2 weeks. They were so.
I would say 3. That's right. I would round up to a full month. Even the loss at USC, the defense was horrible. Yeah, but the offense scored north of 30 points. Like, oh my God, hey, at least one side of the ball's made progress, and then just into dust. That all went. Look, I mean, all the Locked On Spartans listeners, they've heard me talk about the Nebraska game. Windy game. Aiden Child's getting pressured all day, all night long. Yeah, that was a tough day for the offense, but there is no reason you should be scoring 7 points with your first-string offense, 13 points, on the whole entire game against a UCLA defense that is like, this isn't just me just lashing out and having opinions. No, statistically, numerically, analytically, one of the worst defenses, if not the worst, in Power 4 football, and that's how they looked. And look, Jacob, you talk about avoiding the emotional letdown game for you guys. Over here, yeah, we've got a lot of issues that we got to deal with. One of them is maybe looking a little more interested in your games, maybe taking some accountability, playing with a little more energy. And there's a lot of talk about that with Jonathan Smith here at the Monday press conference. He said that they had great meetings on Sunday. Everyone's going to take responsibility, accountability, and look, first things first, you shouldn't have to have those chats halfway through your season. Like, that in itself is already a major red flag.
True.
But no, number two, and no pun intended, but the red flag after this is what comes up Saturday. I would be maybe a little more inclined to think that things might get better if we were facing UCLA again, for example, or perhaps Wisconsin, but nope. It's just that wood chipper down there in Bloomington that is going to, oh my God, do things that are so unspeakable they couldn't even put it on a real channel, Jacob. They had to stash this away on Peacock because children could be watching this game. So no,
and they can't figure out how to get there. Yeah, that's right.
No, of course not. So it's funny because you said it right at the top, a nameless, faceless opponent. In years past, while that is true, while that was true the last few years, there would have been a good deal of people on the Michigan State side commenting, oh my God, that Jacob guy is mean. How could he be so arrogant to say that? But things are just so hostile over here now that I don't even think anyone's going to care. No one's going to care that you just said the truth right there.
And
That's how horrible things are.
What's so crazy, though, is because I've watched Michigan State in all of their Big Ten games this year. You said it. The USC game, competitive. You just lost to a more talented team. Yeah, right? Whatever. Sure. You lost to the best receiver in college football in Mekhi Lemon. I think he is. I do. I think he's one of, if not the. Nebraska was, right? But both of those games were on the road. Okay, fine. Michigan State, you're coming home. You've got UCLA. I mean, you just were handed a bad set of cards here because UCLA just completely wipes out the entire staff. They beat Penn State, and all of a sudden they have an offensive identity and they hang 38 on you. This thing has been stacked against Michigan State since the beginning, and I don't see it getting any better this week against Indiana, even Michigan next week. I mean, maybe Minnesota? Maybe.
Who cares? No. You know what's unfortunate, actually? I care, Jacob.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Care. I'm going to stick around like the sucker I am and watch all 4 quarters of the remaining 6 games because I don't know any better. So, oh my God, it's just a really helpless feeling. And what better opponent to see than the Hoosiers of Indiana? Look, straight up, you guys winning the national title this year, and we'll talk more about football in the second segment, but let's just zoom this thing out. Are you guys doing the whole thing this year? Because I am a believer. Oh my God, I'm very impressed with what I've been seeing so far.
I mean, the win against Oregon proved that you can, right? It proved that you have the ability to do it. You have the coaching, the talent, the game planning, the execution, the maturity to do it all and win a national championship. Now, that's going to mean beating somebody like Ohio State or beating Oregon again or beating somebody from the SEC. And I think Indiana can, but we know how difficult it is to win a national title. So Indiana should win out. Indiana should be undefeated, be a top 4 seed in the playoff, and have every chance to do so. But it is really difficult to do it, and we're just going to have to wait and see. But Indiana is one of the best teams in the country, Matt. There's no doubt about it.
This schedule is something else for the rest of the year. And look, this isn't saying it's all been cupcakes. Obviously, the Oregon game is arguably, maybe not even arguably, the best win of the season for any Power 4 team. You guys didn't just beat Illinois. You throttled them off the field. But my God, those last 5 games, just to give context to Michigan State fans that might not know, it is, hey, it's Michigan State. And then would you look at that? UCLA comes to town. Hopefully they don't torture you like they did just to us. And then you got to go to Maryland.
Which is sneaky on the road at Maryland.
They do got the best freshman quarterback in the conference, I got to say. I'm very impressed with the Terrapins. They are a spicy little team over there. It's a shame we got to see them the very last week of the season. But anyway, we're not here to talk about us right now. You go to Penn State, get beyond gettable game, and then Wisconsin at home. And then after a bye week, hosting Purdue. My God, this is a gold-plated road to the Big Ten championship for your Hoosiers, Jacob. Let's talk more. Let's talk more about this matchup. Is there any possible way this even stays close? I do not know. But first, I need to talk everyone's ears off about DoorDash. Ooh, that's a nice little voice crack by myself right there. It's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down.
Who delivered, Matt? You tell us who delivered, brother.
Our punter's been banging the ball pretty good here. Ryan Eckley, who almost got murdered against Nebraska. He got back on his feet. He had a good game against UCLA. So, yeah, Ryan Eckley, good on you, bud. For the Indiana Hoosiers, how about just anyone that wears the jersey?
Yeah, I mean, Aiden Fisher's been the answer all week, right? I mean, he's a guy who had double-digit tackles, sacks in the backfield, gets after the football, get after the quarterback. I know. Do you guys know what a sack is in East Lansing? It is
used to.
Aiden Fisher, by far, is the one who delivered for Indiana last week against Oregon, and he'll have to deliver again this Saturday against Michigan State.
And just like those great Hoosiers and those outstanding Spartans delivered for our teams, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season long, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period goes through November 18th. Also, gang, Supply House. That is right. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow with over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you punting projects, while the industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered, guys. Need parts fast for a project? Supply House has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer. So what are you waiting for out there? Join the free Trademaster program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. Jacob, we talked about maybe avoiding the emotional letdown spot, and I'm sure that is, 1A of line items that you could possibly even barely be concerned about going into this game. But 6 games into the season, is there anything that you see as a weakness here? Like, let's talk about that big picture again, college football playoff.
Sure.
Is there something that's in your minds over there that you're thinking, this might not be it? This could be the maybe player position group that slows us down here.
Going into the Oregon game, it was still questioning the guys up front, right? The offensive line, not as much on the defensive line. They've kind of gotten after it this year, and then the linebackers have proven they're one of the best units in the country. But the offensive line was concerning going in because Iowa bullied this Indiana team around. They responded really well against Oregon and kept Fernando Mendoza protected for the most part. He did get taken down a couple of times. He did throw a pick 6 in that game as well, but he bounced back really nicely and responded as he has now for 2 games in a row. So not overly concerned with the O-line. And then special teams was one that I was kind of like, all right, well, you blew out Illinois. You didn't really have a whole lot of kicking game against Iowa, but then you showed that you can hit 50-yarders, nearly 60-yarders in this game, and kickoffs and punts and things like that are totally fine. So I hate to be that guy and say, well, I don't see any weaknesses. Indiana's perfect, but they're playing
you're top 5. You're undefeated. You can say that. Yeah,
they're playing pretty close to it. Yeah, and I mean the running game is strong. The receiver core is one of the best in the nation, and I love the coaching staff that Indiana has. Yes, Curt Cignetti's the main guy, and he gets all the love, and he's the one being thrown around for different head coaching jobs this week. But you have Mike Shanahan on the offensive side and Bryant Haynes on the defensive side, who are 2 of the best in the country. So, I still want to see the O-line keep up throughout the regular season. Haven't had a whole lot of injuries up to this point, Matt, so that's a big talking point too, knock on wood as we say it. Indiana looks really strong in all facets of the game, but the O-line, if they can continue to play the way they have been, I think I'm good to go. I would love to ask you what 1 or 2 weaknesses are of your team. How about we go a different direction? How about we go, is there a strength or 2 of your team that you want to highlight? Because I do think you guys have a good team in there somewhere.
So, that's very nice of you to say.
I believe that. I genuinely believe that.
Where my mind goes first is like, how on earth can Michigan State stun the world in a game that no one would even hear about because it's on Peacock in the first place? But it starts with Nick Marsh, who was actually the reason that we actually believe, for if not for nothing else, 16 seconds in last year's game that, hey, maybe this is our day. And then it was decidedly not our day. 45 Indiana points later, but yeah, Nick Marsh is still. He's still a monster. Now, unfortunately, that monster has been caged the last few weeks here. Now, has he been double covered? Of course he has. The book is entirely out on him. But the quarterbacks themselves are struggling a little bit to get him the ball. What's interesting here?
Quarterbacks. That was plural. Yeah.
That was. And that is a good storyline going into this game at the time of recording. And I think they're going to try to keep this under wraps as long as possible. They don't know who's going to start, and that's not so much as quarterback controversy as much as Michigan State fans desperately want it to be at this point. But Aiden Shaws has taken some licks. He got hit bad early in last week's game, so he could be missing this one. This is going to go to the sophomore backup, Alessio Milivojevic, if Childs cannot go. Now, Alessio, and it's not to say that Childs has completely neglected Marsh. Alessio got in that game, and I don't even know if he looked at a different receiver, which, hey, if I was a quarterback, that's probably the route I would go to, Jake.
Not a bad game plan.
I'm going to throw it to the guy that could be going in day 1 or day 2 of the NFL draft one day. And did he connect every time? No, but hey, last week it was 14 targets for Nick Marsh, which is definitely a career high. I think that it could be that again, but you need a lot more than Nick Marsh. You need blocking. You need a run game. You need a defense. So that's really it. It just relies on Nick Marsh right there. I'd love to talk to you about our punter, who's the best in the nation, but I feel like that's going to be kind of irrelevant in this one. But
man, I hate to see you like this. I don't.
I've been like this, unfortunately. Yeah,
no, I know. But don't worry, basketball. We are going to talk basketball in a minute. I promise we are. And basketball season is almost here. But I mean. Yeah. Is it for Michigan State genuinely? Is there a path in this new era of college football, right? With NIL, transfer portal, revenue sharing, all this. I mean, Indiana's good at football. Like, let's just think about this for a second. Like, Indiana was terrible. They were one of the worst P4, P5 FBS programs in the nation. Mm-hmm. And in a year and a half, they're one of the best teams in the country because of a head coach and his staff and that. Is there a path in your mind that Michigan State could get there with the right guy, the right group, the right dollar amount? I mean, is that a possibility in your mind, genuinely?
I think so. And that might sound silly because, my God, how long has it been since Michigan State's had staying power, in the Big Ten? Yes, that was a fun year a few years ago in the Peach Bowl, but that was 1 year. If you look at the last decade, oh, my God, actually, don't look at the last decade. Please don't, actually.
Yeah.
But, look, I'll do the same talking points because eventually, there can be some validity to it. You play in the right conference for it. Michigan State does have fine resources. They are a top 15 revenue school. The money should and is theoretically there. But yeah, there's some cleaning up that needs to take place, whether it's the culture in the program, whether it's just what's going on in the athletic department, everyone getting on the same page. And this is a problem that a lot of other schools are having.
Yeah.
How about all the donors being on the same page, not having power struggles and having a you-know-what measuring contest at every single point? It takes a village to raise a good football team, and we have the villagers. We just got to all come together and actually fight for the same cause here eventually. So, yes, can it happen? Absolutely. Everything's set up for Michigan State to eventually do it, but that's the problem. It's going to be eventually because whoever the next guy that comes in, whether it's James Franklin or whether it's, I don't know, Mel Tucker comes back. I don't know. It's going to take a beat here for things to really get back into a stable condition here, Jacobs.
Do I dare ask you for a score prediction for Saturday before we move on? I dare even? Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I like a lot here, but I'll let you start. I'll let you get it out. I know you've been waiting on this.
80-3. 80-3. And then you're going to say, oh, no, seriously, what's your prediction? 80-3 is my prediction. I don't see this going well whatsoever. So that's
I like 45-10. That's kind of where I'm at. I like the Hoosiers to win. I like the Hoosiers to cover. I think whoever's playing quarterback in whatever offense Michigan State decides to run, I think they'll hit a big play somewhere. They'll be able to cash in late, but look, I think this Indiana offense is rolling. That Indiana defense is legit, and Curt Cignetti is the best in-game coach in the country. So 45-10, that's where I'm at. But hey, for your sake, for your heart, for your soul, my friends, let's talk some hoops. Let's talk hoops on the other side. Let's do it.
Let's go. Turn it up, baby. All right. Jacob, it's time because we got to talk the people's ears off about Rougiet.
Yes. Today's episode is brought to you by Rougiet. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them, but if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. That's exactly where you can use it, and that's where this comes in, Rugiet's Go Long. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula, so you can get hard and get to the distance. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. If prescribed, your treatment will be shipped to you. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to rugiet.com and use the promo code LockedOnCollege for 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com. Promo code LockedOnCollege. Make sure to use your code so they know that we sent you. And then also today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. And look, Hoosiers are favored by almost 28 points. It may even be more than that by the time you see or hear this. And if you think Indiana's going to win 80-3, is that what you said, Matt? 80-3? If you think that that's the case, well, then you can jump on that on FanDuel. Hey, they may have like a final score predictor on there. You may be able to jump on that too.
Or like an alt line of minus 76.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
knows?
I can't guarantee, confirm, nor deny that FanDuel has that, but you can go check it out for yourself. But what I can tell you is they have great things for college football and the NFL because it is here right now. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So college football on Saturday, NFL on Sunday, Monday Night Football too. It's all on FanDuel. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com right now to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Man, it's time to talk a little basketball, Mr. Matt Sheehan of Locked On Spartans. You're welcome. You're welcome. Look, you said, hey, can we talk basketball in the third segment? I said, come on, bro. I want to talk football, but I did it for you because you're my friend and I liked you and I want you to be happy in this life. And so the AP poll came out this week. Indiana not in it. Michigan State is in it. And we are, 3 weeks away from the start of college basketball? I know that's got your people fired up.
Kind of crazy. Yeah. And you know what's got us fired up over here too? And maybe I'm in the minority. I don't want to be in the AP poll, Jacob. Like I liked all these non-official top 25s where Michigan State wasn't even on these. Like, hey, we like a chip on our shoulders. So yeah, coming in at 22, it's like, okay, whatever. But I'm fascinated because both of our teams got some saucy, dare I say, non-conference schedules here because Michigan State on our side, Kentucky in the Champions Classic. We got Duke at home. We got Arkansas at home. We're going to play North Carolina and Fort Myers, but my goodness, we actually have company in the Big Ten this year of facing some pretty stout opponents. You got Marquette, you got Louisville, and hey, look, he's there. Not just Kentucky, but inside the walls of Rupp Arena, Kentucky. That's good. You guys in favor of that schedule, especially under a new regime, or do you wish that maybe a little break was checked there?
I mean the 4 non-con games that are highlighted. You said 3 of them there. Marquette, which is the second game of the season, by the way, that's going to be in Chicago, so that's really cool. You play Louisville in Indianapolis, so should be a favorable Indiana crowd. You do have to go to Rupp Arena and take on Mark Pope and the Cats, and I am worried about that game. Sure. And then you get Kansas State coming into Assembly Hall. So that will be fun, right? It's a P4 game. It is what it is. So I think those 4 games on top of the rest of your, weaker non-conference schedule, I think it's fine. I think it's a good litmus test of what Indiana can be. Of course, we know now in the expanded Big Ten scheduling, you have a couple of games sprinkled in there in December. Indiana does make a trip. Believe we go to Minnesota before we make that trip to Rupp. So it won't be our first true road game inside of Rupp Arena, which is nice. Thank God for that. And so all things considered, the schedule November and December is not that bad. And we'll know kind of where this team stands because this team for Indiana and head coach Darren DeVries, who was brought over from West Virginia, has 0 returning players. Not a single one. Everybody's gone. They either graduated or they transferred or they just disappeared. You know what I mean? Like they're just not here anymore. And so it's a brand new team, brand new roster, brand new staff. There are little to no expectations because we just simply have no idea what the heck is going to happen.
You know what? I was afraid you're going to say that, and I don't blame you for saying that. I mean, I remember I was at a bachelor party back in June, and yeah, I was with a group of guys that were big Indiana basketball fans.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, I could tell you everything about every player going back to 2000. I don't know a single thing to expect out of this year's team. So, Jacob, when I bring up that, hey, you guys are number 10 in the preseason Big Ten poll. Like,
yeah.
Do you even have a take on that? Or
no, I mean, I think I saw somebody predict that we're supposed to go 10-10 in conference play. Like,
yeah, why not?
Middle of the pack, middle of the road. Yeah. I think the only expectation is make the tournament because that's what Mike Woodson didn't really do. That's why he got fired. That's what previous coaches weren't doing. Like, that's not the long-term goal and standard in Indiana, but at least in year one under Darren DeVries, get to the tournament, make it look fun, make it look different. This team will be much more exciting offensively. They're actually going to do this crazy thing. They invented it a couple of years ago. Shooting 3-pointers is what they're going to do this year, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, rather than being the number one paint team in the country and only scoring 63 points a game, they're going to shoot from behind the arc. It's it's a miracle. Can't wait. So, no, as long as it looks a little bit different and this team can get up and down the floor, it will be exciting. Make the NCAA tournament, and I think fans are going to be fine. But flipping this back to you, you are preseason top 25, I believe 25th in KenPom as well to start the season. Expectations in East Lansing? Are we talking another trip to a Sweet 16, Elite 8, flirting with the Final Four? Yeah. What are we feeling here?
Rolling out of bed as a Michigan State fan, you always got to start your day with the expectation this team will make the second weekend of the tournament. And anything short, unless you win the Big Ten, whatever, and you just got stunned in the second round, it's a failure if you don't make it to the second weekend. I would expect the same for this year's team, although, of course, we got our question marks. Let's not get a twist. I'm just saying this is a bona fide shoe-in team for a Sweet 16. Like, we have some three-point issues that we got to discover here very quickly in the season. We lost a lot of guys that spaced the floor for us. Jace Richardson being the top guy. Yeah. Now, while guys like Jaden Akins, Trey Hallman, Xavier Booker, they didn't necessarily have great percentages last year. On their whole careers, though, they at least showed that they can shoot a three-pointer, and they had to be respected by other defenses, which helped with floor spacing. And Jeremy Fierce is a kind of a point guard that needs that floor spacing. So can Jackson Kohler, he kind of showed at the end of last year. Can he be a guy that can stretch the floor? Cohen Carr, who is the most athletic guy in all of college basketball, he kind of showed a little bit of a jumper at the end of last year. Now, was that a mirage? Was that something? Ken Trey Fort, who's basically 38 years old. He's played at 14 colleges, but he's transferring over from Samford. He's got a decent three-point percentage on his career. It's around 36%. Can it just instantly transition over to Big Ten basketball? These are a lot of question marks. Yeah. And I know that not everything is about making or missing three-pointers, and we know that last year because MSU was not good at making them, but yet they still had a very high-scoring offense. You need just floor spacing, and that's the number one thing I'm going to be watching here to start this next season is can we strike gold right off the rip here? So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, though. I think the Big Ten is going to be awesome yet again this year. I mean, the top of the Big Ten is freaking loaded, dude. Loaded in this conference. And we're talking basketball. Yes, it is that way in football, too. But basketball is going to be loaded at the top.
Can I ask you this? Because I'll just go through the top 6 teams here in the Big Ten preseason poll here. So it's Purdue, who was not unanimous. Michigan in second place got 3 of those votes. And then I'm right behind them. Number 3 is UCLA. Number 4, Illinois. Number 5, Oregon. And I said top 6 because I want to hear our name too. Michigan State is that 6th team.
Yeah.
Who's a fraud? Who do you got your eye like the closest sound of being like, I'm not entirely convinced that you're a top 6 team here in this conference?
Is it crazy to say UCLA? Like, until I see it, until I, like, Mick Cronin's a good coach, but I've seen him crumble so many times, and I just, I'm not buying that until I see it on the floor. I will say that Purdue's not winning the national championship. That's their expectation, and that's not happening. They're not, it's not going to happen. Talk about crumbling, guaranteed. Wow. Guaranteed that Purdue does not win the national championship because I've seen Matt Painter in these situations before and talk about a dude that can't talk about the James Franklin of college basketball. Matt Painter at Purdue is that. They ain't winning it all this year.
You know what? Just to join the hater parade, if you want to dog on Purdue, like, am I crazy? Am I just a dyed-in-the-wool Sparty that's too salty about Michigan's number 2 ranking? I don't know. Like, I threw this around the other day when we talked about these rankings when they came out. like, yes, Yaxel Lundenborg, whatever his name is, like, yeah, he was supposed to go top 3 in the NBA draft last year. If you talk to any Michigan fan, he turned them down to go to Ann Arbor. How sold are we that he's actually an upgrade over Danny Wolf, who was a really good player for them last year?
I think he's really good. I just think Dusty May's a damn good coach. Like,
sure,
he's a really, really good coach, man. He's really good.
And also, like, they lose Vlad Golden, and I know that they got Mara from UCLA, who's about 8'4", and then Moritz Johnson, who's also a really good player. But, like, are either of them or combined as good as Vlad Golden? I don't. They are going to be a good team. I'm not saying they're going to miss the tournament. They're going to host an NIT game, but, like,
that's what I heard.
So that'd be great. I would love nothing. This would make the whole year worth it if they just come crash on their face that hard. But
yeah,
I don't know. When I saw that not only are they number 2 in the conference, like, okay, sure, whatever. Getting 3 first place votes.
Yeah.
Can we just calm down a little bit?
Let's slow down a little bit. Let's pump the brakes just a hair. I'm with you on that, brother.
There we go. See, Illinois fans, I didn't have anything to say about your team. I'm going to come in peace with Illinois fans this season. I'm going to turn a new leaf here. We're going to become friends.
I already got mine from Illinois fans. I'm done, man. We got ours on the football field. We're good. I'm good.
Got the last laugh there. Jacob, I cannot thank you enough, not just for hopping on, just for your friendship, your conversation, your insight, but also just letting us talk basketball here for about 10 minutes.
Of course.
Anything else you want to leave us with before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your week and this game that's about to happen?
I mean, look, I hope for your sake that it's closer than you think, and maybe it'll be like 80-5 instead of 80-3. You know what I mean? And
that's right.
I am pumped for you for basketball season because it is here. It's right around the corner, and I can't wait. We'll do this again several more times during basketball season.
We will.
I always enjoy talking to you, my friend.
That's right, Jacob. I can't quit you, and just like I can't quit talking about our Spartans, guys, no matter what happens in this game, whether they stun the world or whether they just do the expected. We're going to talk about it here in Locked On Spartans. I'm going to fetch a guest, Jacob, over there, Locked On Hoosiers. He will talk about it as well. But, guys, until then, take care of yourselves. Love you all, even you Indiana fans. You guys are harmless in my book. Whatever, guys. Hey, take care of yourselves. Love you all.